So it's the third film in a cinematic universe that is slowly being created. I think it started about 5 years ago, and it's basically bringing all the big stars of the Tamil industry together, which is quite an exciting thing because we rarely see them on screen together unless it's like a little cameo.
Right.
And they've all got their own fandoms, so it's hopefully going to unite people, and it's an exciting thing. The trailer looks really good. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Is it like The Expendables?
You see, I think that's weirdly the closest thing, I would say.
Okay.
I wish it wasn't as expendably, but
Right.
it is, I think.
Okay.
Which
fine.
is an issue for me. I wish it was more highbrow. I know it's a bit...
Listen, just stop there for a second.
This is the GrassTooth podcast.
So, do you know what I did this weekend?
What did you do?
Or last week, actually.
What did you do?
What did I do last week? Thanks for asking, by the way. I don't
It's
know why
alright.
I'm the one driving the
No,
conversation
it's okay.
here.
As in, what do you want me to say?
Just ask me.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
So what did you get up to last week?
I'm ready to tell you.
Go on then. When you're ready. I'm ready now.
Okay. I went to Athens,
Nice.
Greece.
Where else is there?
Athens in Greece.
Yes. I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
You've never been?
I've never been.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll give you like an overview of, I'll give you an objective overview of Athens, and then I'll give you my final verdict of the place, right? So we actually went because it was, it's my 3-year anniversary with Jade.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
Go on, carry on.
Hey.
I just wanted to point that
Sounded
out.
a bit sarcastic there.
I just sound sarcastic. But
Okay,
go on.
fine. I'll take it. In terms of the good parts of Athens, it's just a nice place, man. It's got this got lots of really nice places to visit. Obviously, as you probably know, it's a place that's culturally endowed. Lots of historical significance, lots of areas to go and visit. Weather was fantastic, really sunny. Food was amazing. They've got the gyros. Is it gyros? Have you heard of gyros?
I think
gyros and souvlaki.
Is it gyros or eros?
It might be gyros, but
Okay.
I said gyros at the beginning.
Gyros,
yeah. And I got some really weird looks from the locals, but had lots of gyros, souvlaki, and they've got really nice bars, like really nice little romantic places, nice bars. So that's the good parts of Athens. I think, obviously, and this isn't really solely just Athens. I think a lot of European places kind of have this, and it might be because of their economy. Obviously, you know what's happened over there, but there's a lot of sketchy places in Athens.
Right.
Most, if not, as in most of Athens was quite sketchy, in my opinion.
I'm starting to see a trend just from these 2 episodes.
What do you mean?
It's just you pointing out a city and then shitting on it.
No, but listen, you haven't heard my final. You haven't heard my final verdict yet. I'm giving you an objective overview, right? This is purely objective. And yeah, so it's slightly sketchy, but in terms of my final verdict, drum roll, please.
I'm not gonna drum roll.
You're not gonna drum roll. Okay, fine. It's an amazing place.
Okay.
I loved Athens. It's in terms of the cultural stuff, as I mentioned, lots of nice places to visit.
Where did you go visit?
Went to visit the Acropolis, the Agora. There's this really the Agora. That's a good question. It's just a place in Athens, man.
Nice,
Agora is just a place in Athens, bro. An amazing place. And there's this really famous geezer. I think his name's Hadrian.
Hadrian's walls.
Hadrian's walls. Hadrian's library.
Do they have a garden
Hadrian's
as
gates.
well? No,
Hadrian's garden. Hadrian's
who is this
swimming pool.
Who is this man, Hadrian?
He's just he's a top geezer, man. He's a real top geezer, and he's done a lot of stuff.
You might
he's
be
quite famous.
the worst tour guide of all time. I can just imagine going to Paris with you, and you're like, "Oh, this is all
just
shit."
an amazing geezer, Hadrian.
Hadrian, he's alright. He's a top
He's a good lad. I used to know him back in the day. Hadrian's an amazing guy. I think he was I don't think he was a philosopher. I think he was one of the first emperors, potentially. I might be completely wrong. I might be completely wrong about that. So just do a bit of a Google check on that.
I'm really sorry to all people of Greek origin and descent.
I'm a disgrace.
He went. How long were you there for?
I was there for almost a week.
Almost a week.
Almost a week.
No idea about anything.
It's fine, but it was an amazing
But you weren't
place.
there for that. You weren't there to.
I wasn't
You were there for the vibe.
I was there for the vibe.
The atmosphere.
And listen, again, Hadrian, amazing. Food was fantastic.
Was Athens more romantic than Paris?
I felt it was. And going back to the sketchy part, I never really felt unsafe. I think if you have your wits about you whilst you're walking around, obviously there's the fear of pickpockets and all that kind of stuff, which I think is quite universal in Europe anyway. But it's if you just have your wits about you and you're kind of mindful. I didn't really feel hassled. So when I kind of had a bit of a go at Paris, I literally I was hassled left, right, and center. People kind of approached us, asking for money and being really aggressive, which I didn't really appreciate. Whereas in Athens, I feel like, and it could just be my experience. Other people might have something, a different experience, but I felt like I was kind of just left alone, and I was left alone to enjoy what Greece and Athens had to offer. So I recommend for you to go. And actually, the other really important thing I wanted to mention was, right, I sent you a picture of a picture of Confucius and Socrates, right? I sent you that picture. We're gonna put it on the screen for you guys.
It'll be
at
up
home.
for you guys.
I'm up for you guys. I don't know if I'm getting a bit carried away here.
Go on.
Right.
Hit me with it.
Okay, but if you look at the picture, I can't. Obviously, these are two influential philosophers. They're
Some of the greatest
famous.
minds.
Some of the greatest minds,
of
right?
all mankind.
Exactly. And I know that, but I couldn't help but notice that there's a clear similarity, resemblance with us two.
As soon as I saw the photo, I thought it was me and you. I had to look twice before I realised.
Exactly, and I kind of had this feeling of these two fellas. They walked so that me and you and the GrassTooth podcast
could fly.
So
tell me again, who's Hadrian? Who was that?
He's a top geezer, man. He's a top geezer. I should have done a bit more research in hindsight, but again, he's a proper top man. But yeah, Athens was fantastic. I definitely, if you haven't been, obviously you've said you haven't been.
No,
I'd recommend.
Yeah, it's at the top of my list for places to go.
Where's Paris? Is Paris up there?
As in, I've been to Paris. I'd always go to Paris. I think Paris.
You'd always go to Paris.
Yeah, it's like next door, innit?
Next door.
Just a Eurostar. It's a train away.
True.
So like I can go.
But lots of bed bugs nowadays, so you don't want to go there now, right?
Very, very true. Speaking of Greece, there's a question that's been popping up in social media. The question of how often do you think about the Romans?
I haven't seen that.
You've actually not seen this?
I've not seen this.
Okay. Apparently Yonny hasn't been on social media.
I haven't seen this. I've been living under
So there's this whole thing
a rock.
about how like girlfriends have been asking their boyfriends how often do you think about the Romans? Okay. And do you think about them at all?
Do I think about the Romans? Not really. I mean, I've watched Gladiator.
Russell Crowe.
Okay. And Spartacus.
You've seen Spartacus?
I've seen Spartacus.
Okay.
The TV show.
I don't know. I didn't know there was a TV show.
Oh no, is it TV?
The one with Kirk Douglas. I'm Spartacus.
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Not the Scottish geezer. Is he Scottish?
You're talking about 300.
Yeah, 300. No, I haven't watched 300. I've watched Spartacus, the TV show.
What are you talking
Who's
about?
Kirk Douglas?
Oh. Okay.
He's I think the actor from season 1 passed away with cancer. That one. Is it Spartacus? I'm pretty sure it's Spartacus.
Maybe.
But I've watched that, and I guess that's the limit to my my knowledge of Romans. But I don't actually know. I don't really think about it.
And you've not heard about the question either.
I've not heard about the question. Okay. Can you enlighten me? I want to hear a bit.
So there's this thing about girlfriends asking their boyfriends about how often they think about the Romans, and it's been a lot of guys have been saying, like at least like 3 times a day or multiple times a week. Yeah. So on and so forth. And like experts' analysis of this has said that it's usually because they like to think of like being conquerors and having everything in order, because the Romans had everything in order. And yeah, like do you have any period of like history that you think about a lot?
I don't know whether it's because of my race, but I think about the Korean War a lot. And I think that's just because my parents talk about it quite a bit. Because I mean, obviously they weren't fighting in there, but you know, their parents, well, my grandparents were in that generation. So I think about that quite often.
How often would you say you think about it?
Probably at least twice a week, I think. I'm really clued up on. I've watched a lot of documentaries about it. There's a few films I want to watch around it as well. It's just interesting, man. It's kind of I mean, this is a very, very simplistic and a very, I don't know what the word is, very, I guess, childish take on it. But the Korean War itself is it's just almost like a Marvel movie. There's just so many different characters to it. Because obviously it's essentially not just a battle between South Korea and North Korea. It's essentially
there's so many people,
communism and capitalism, and there's China and the US and stuff. So it's very interesting, but not really the Romans. I kind of understand what, like, in terms of, you know, what guys normally think about on a day-to-day basis. For me, I think instead of the Romans, I think a lot of it is actually just kind of conspiracy theories.
Right.
I think about conspiracy theories a lot.
But like, is it historical stuff or is it stuff that's going on now? Okay.
I mean, a mix of both, really. Yeah. Conspiracy theories. Should I tell you what? I just find random things and I just get really deeply into them. I mean, recently I got into the dark web. I mean, not actually.
Okay, fine.
But it's just in terms of documentaries.
I'm scared about where this is going to go.
No. Okay, trust me, I wouldn't ever do it. But I'm just like fascinated about all of that kind of stuff, all the kind of dark the seedy underweb type of things, which is quite interesting. But I mean, do you think about the Romans quite a lot, or
not really? And I think this is like a window into my mind, which is I think about the Greeks a lot more than I think about the Romans, and a lot about ancient India as well. Right. And I think the Greeks and ancient India kind of had a similar, you know, vibe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. And one thing that connects them is their like rich mythology, which I'm like constantly thinking about.
Right. Okay.
I love that, like all that.
I'm into Greek mythology as well. To be honest,
what's your favorite Greek myth? Which one? There's definitely one. I've got one in my head. I'm like, this is the one almost every day I think about it.
The Greek myth. I mean, I'm very basic. Very basic though.
Yeah, it's not basic. Go on.
I mean, for me, Perseus is my favorite. Yeah. I think Perseus is definitely. Listen, Hadrian's a geezer. Perseus for me is a top. He's top. He's up there as well. I think Perseus.
Which part?
Just his whole life. I think just his whole life. He's just so interesting. I think just his whole life. I mean, is Perseus? Is he your?
No. Do you know Sisyphus?
Syphilis. What?
Sisyphus.
No, I haven't come across.
So he was this prankster type, you know, playing tricks on everyone. Yeah. The gods were like, oh, this guy, we need to do something about him.
Right.
And so when he died, Zeus gave him this punishment, which was to roll a boulder up a hill.
Okay.
And once he got to the top of the hill, he's good to go.
Okay.
So every day, every time he'd like try and roll a boulder up, he'll roll back down.
Because it's just so heavy.
That's just the way. That was the trick. That was the ultimate trick that they played on Sisyphus. And that's like quite analogous to like life and just living every day. It's just
puts you
constantly pushing a rock up a hill that just won't ever get there.
Right. And that's why you like him.
Yeah. He's still doing it. He's probably still doing it.
And he's a fun guy.
He's a joker.
He's a prankster.
Yeah. Good kid.
Fair enough. I need to research him a bit more. Actually, I feel like I would vibe with him.
For sure. I think so too.
Yeah, he's definitely up. He's one for me to have a look out for. Alongside Hadrian.
Yeah. We're gonna. The next episode is gonna be all about Hadrian. We're gonna break down who this man is. This mystery man.
To be honest, I did a very quick 1 minute search on Hadrian.
Why didn't you tell me this when I asked you 20 minutes ago?
But I still don't know much about him.
Okay, fine.
He's a very complex character. Right? He's very complex. What I do know about him is he's considered, I think, I can't remember what it was called actually. I think it was the 5 good emperors or the 5 good...
So is he an emperor?
I think he's an emperor.
Hadrian.
I think he's considered one of the good ones.
Okay.
He's considered as like almost the father of civilization.
Right.
And apparently there's a lot of bad emperors, but he's considered one of the good ones.
Yeah, okay.
One of the good ones. All right?
Top keys.
He's a top keys. He created so many things. A library, some gates, some walls. He's a great person. So We need to research Hadrian.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name again? Sisyphus.
Sisyphus. Yes.
Sisyphus. Cool. Yeah. I think. Should I tell you what? With this the question about how girlfriends ask their boyfriends. Is it because they often feel that their boyfriends are kind of unattentive, and they're just kind of going, "Well, what are you thinking about?"
Yeah,
is that kind of where it's come
I
from,
think
or?
that's like, it's cool because it gives them an insight to But I don't know. I feel like it's like a lot of like the girl version of it.
Yeah.
Some say is like the Victorian times.
Really?
Yeah, I can kind of get it because I think the literature that came out of the Victorian times is all very like prim and proper, and there was like all those, romantic novels like the Bronte sisters,
Right.
and Jane Austen and stuff.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I think it's probably similar. Like I don't like to think, oh, guys think about this, girls think about this. I think about the Victorian times sometimes, but for different reasons.
What reasons?
Let's not get into
Sponge
it now.
cake.
Sponge cake.
Sponge cake.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right.
Where would you put sponge cake on your?
My level of cakes.
Yeah.
Definitely top 3.
Top 3. That's
man.
insane. I think
it's
my
because it's so
brother's
basic, but it's just so. It's like the banana conversation again, isn't it? It's
yeah.
But for me,
sponge
works.
cake is the banana of cakes.
Yeah, but it's nice.
So is banana.
Debatable.
Now
guys.
time
Debatable.
for the glass truth.
The Glass Truth. Making sense of nonsense.
This is the glass truth, people. You think it's just me and Yonny having a friendly little chat about the Greeks and the Romans? No.
Hadrian. Don't forget Hadrian.
Sorry, I've lost composure for a second. No, we're discussing true things happening in the world right now.
Real life.
With you.
Fact.
Fiction. What's
Non-fiction.
the difference? Non-fiction.
This is the worst intro we've done, but
Yonny,
yes.
what have you got for us this week?
I've been reading the news.
No way.
Yeah, it's a surprise, isn't it?
Go on.
It's a surprise.
Go on.
And before I go into it, I kind of want to ask you this question because obviously between us two, it's no surprise you're the more creative of the two of us. Okay?
I'm not going to agree or disagree. I'll just go with it.
Just agree.
Yeah, okay,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
You write. You love books.
Okay.
You're creative, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question. What is art to you? Just give me a few lines. lines.
Okay. I feel like I'm in an exam. Art to me
10 marks.
is one person creating something in the hope of communicating either a thought or a feeling to another person, regardless of space or time. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good answer. That's a really good answer.
Thank you.
See, this is why I asked you these questions.
Okay.
Because
What?
that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Did move me. I guess this, I think, could be of interest to you.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, just to give you some facts, 2 years ago, there was an artist in Denmark, right? His name is Jens Honning. Jens Honning?
Okay,
right?
Jens Honning.
Right? He was commissioned to recreate some of his previous art by a museum. Right, so a museum asked him to create some art.
Remake some art that he'd already made.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Recreate some of his already existing art, right?
Okay.
He took the money and he took the money and he submitted 2 empty canvases.
Right.
And the title of his art was "Take the Money and Run." Right? Obviously, the museum weren't happy. They weren't happy about this, and they said, "Give us our money back, you piece of shit." And this happened 2 years ago,
Okay.
and the Supreme Danish court ruled a couple of weeks ago that he now has to repay that museum. The artist has to repay the museum close to $70,000 back because of this, right? So that's the piece of news I found today. What do you think of that? What's your take on that?
As in, I think for a start, they've asked him to recreate his art, and he's come up with 2 new pieces, which I'm a fan of. I haven't even seen it, but I already like the concept. And if the museum were cool, they would have been like, "This is cool.
This is good art."
Yeah,
Just 2 empty canvases.
As in, it's still a statement, which is, fuck the institution. Fuck whatever you guys are saying.
I do what I want.
I do what I want.
This is art.
I'd go and see it.
Just 2 empty canvases.
Just because of the power of what he said.
Because it's not the like the object in itself. It's actually the concept around it. It's I was paid money to do this.
Yeah.
And I just gave them the middle finger.
Yeah.
But this is art. Because I consider it art. Right. I respect it. I definitely respect it.
So the Mona Lisa, right? Before it was the most famous painting in the world. It became famous because at the same time when newspapers were becoming a thing, someone stole it from the Louvre.
The Louvre?
And that became like one of the first sensations, and everyone was like, "Oh, someone stole the Mona Lisa." Da, 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 da.
Oh, so that's what sparked the interest.
It became
now it's just
super valuable. It's the most famous painting in the world now.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, it's because it's been spoken about that it's got that status now, you know. As well as you know that whole trick that Banksy pulled when he auctioned one of his paintings.
I know Banksy, but what's the trick that he pulled?
So one of his paintings, I think it was the girl with the red balloon.
Okay.
Got sold at an auction, and at the moment that the person bought it, the picture was in a frame,
right? And
the frame was actually a shredder.
Oh.
And as soon as it was sold, the painting went through a shredder, and all they got left were the little strips.
Oh wow.
So like this kind of thing, it's like it's all about, is art worth the money that it's, you know, is the whole art industry a scam?
It's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
100%.
If like for me, something could be completely worthless, but for someone else, it's like, oh, I'll pay them £1 million for that piece of art. I mean, another piece of news which is very similar to this in many ways, and I just thought it was really funny. A few months back, a Korean geezer, a Korean geezer went to a museum, another museum, right? And the piece of art he saw, and this is actually part of the reason why we've got this background. I don't know if you guys can see.
I was going to ask you, they got rid of my Vincent van Gogh. And they put off this.
We put up this one, right? And it plays an important part in this story. The piece of art was essentially a banana stuck up on a canvas,
right,
with duct tape.
Right.
That is the piece of art.
I've seen this, yeah.
Apparently, that piece of art was done by a geezer called Maurizio Catalan.
We need to stop with the geezers. Too many geezers.
By an artist called Maurizio Catalan.
Okay.
And that piece of art was worth $120,000.
Okay.
Right. This Korean guy, he's a student. Went in there, took the banana
and ate it.
Yeah. And not only did he eat it, he put the banana skin back on.
Nice.
Using the duct tape.
Nice.
Right. He was then asked why he did that. And he's literally said, I skipped breakfast and I was hungry. So, what do you make of that?
Fair play.
I love it. It's big dick energy. It's just brazen big dick energy right there.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I really respect it, and I think, you know, we've got a mutual friend who I think is who could do something like this. He's Korean as well.
Oh yes.
It's something that he would do, right? 100%. And like,
I've always thought about it. So, do you consider food art?
It depends. Do you mean in terms of like when chefs prepare it?
As in, I'm not talking about ready meals and stuff.
No, but like in terms of when you go to a restaurant and I see some food and it just looks amazing. For me, that's art. Anything.
What about like a home cooked meal?
That's art. Yeah, I consider that art.
So when this guy ate this banana, he becomes part of the art.
Yeah,
he has taken in the art in the most visceral way possible, and he has become part of the exhibition.
He's added a different dimension to that.
What's his name? This geezer.
This Korean geezer. Let's just call him Juan.
Okay.
Let's call him Juan, right? Juan. Yeah, he's just added a different dimension to this piece, and it's the fact that he stuck it back on. He didn't just eat
How
the
long
banana.
was that banana up there for?
Apparently, the banana, they actually change it either every 2 or 3 weeks. They change it regularly anyway. So I don't think the museum didn't press any charges from what I remember, because firstly, it's just completely, it's kind of funny, right? And secondly, they have to replace it anyway, right? So they didn't really press any charges, and also he's a student, so they're not gonna ruin his life. But
and now would they just put the skin up, banana skin up?
No, I think they're gonna replace it with a different banana.
Just a different banana.
So that's the piece of art.
As in, I don't know, if I was the artist, I'd be like, yeah, don't put the bananas up as a whole. Just put the skin up every time now.
Because it's a new piece of art now.
Yeah, it's been transformed by one of its viewers.
So I've got a question about this though, right? Do you think? I mean, I agree that art is what you perceive it to be. So if you consider something as art, even if it's a blank canvas, it's art, right? Do you think this guy, so Jens Hanning, as well as the Italian fella, Catalan, right?
Maurizio
do you
Catalan.
think Maurizio?
Maurizio.
Do you think they knew that what they've done can be considered as a bit cheeky, right? Or do you think they genuinely believed what they've done was art?
So there's this concept, right? It's called death of the author, and the whole idea behind it is that once an author has written a book, and the reader starts reading it, the author's intentions don't matter at all anymore. It's just about how the reader, or the viewer in this case, takes it in. So even if they were taking themselves completely seriously, or they weren't taking themselves seriously at all, or it was a half and half where they were both aware that they weren't taking it seriously, but also took it kind of seriously because it means something to them. None of that matters. It's about how you perceive it. How would you perceive it? Like, if you saw those two canvases or the banana stuck up with some duct tape, what would you think?
See, I don't see it from that artistic perspective. So I would think there's something that happened in the background.
Right.
And the reason why I asked this question is actually I had a very similar experience when I was back in school. When we were back in school, right? Do you remember when we did, was it D&T? Or art and design?
Right.
Back at school, right? Yeah. And we had I'm gonna bleep his name out, but Mr. I was in one of his classes, right? Yeah. And we were, I think in the module we were basically asked to produce a package or a box of some sort, right? So you had to create your own package. Yeah. And you can do it for whatever reason, whether it's a box of chocolates or something, for clothing or whatever it is, that's fine, right? And they give you the materials that you can use, right? So I think they gave us at the time cardboard, non-corrugated cardboard, plastic, whatever.
Yeah.
And we were doing this for 10 weeks, right? But towards when we were about to hand in what we had, I just didn't have the capability or the intellectual capacity to actually create something, right? So what I did...
Do you remember what you were doing it for?
Yeah. No, but I didn't know what I was doing it for. I basically created a random spin out of it, right? Essentially, I couldn't be bothered to create something of something of worth. Yeah. So I just found a shoebox. Yeah. And I just jazzed it up a bit. Okay. And I presented it as a box for cheese.
Cheese?
For cheese.
Okay.
And I put in the straw.
Yeah.
And I put the cheese in, right?
Like a little.
And I presented it as a box. And he literally just opened up and just went, "This is a shoebox." And I was like, "No, sir. It's a package for cheese." Anyway, I got put into detention straight away. But it reminds me of that because I knew what I was doing. I knew I was being very cheeky, right? But I tried to spin it as art. I tried to spin it as my creation. But deep down, I knew it was a shoebox. So that's why the question came up. Do you think these guys knew what they were doing? But if it was me, as someone who is looking at the art, if I paid, it depends how much money I paid. If I paid good money to look at some art and I'm seeing two empty canvases, I'll have a laugh, right? But I'll just be like, I've just wasted my money seeing this. But
I think the point of the museum though is not just going to be that.
There's other stuff, things. Right? Yeah.
It'll just add a different dimension to it because it does kind of broaden your mind a bit as to what is considered art. For example, do you think the stuff AI is doing is art?
That's is AI art?
Can
Oh,
AI
you know
make
where
art?
they generate stuff like the
Yeah,
pictures.
the images, or
Yeah.
if you ask it to write
I
like a
think so.
story or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Have you seen something that's moved you?
Not really, but I've seen different pictures that AI have generated.
Yeah.
It's very smart. I think that's art. I
Yeah.
personally think that's art. I can see why a lot of people wouldn't consider it as art.
Yeah.
But I consider that as art, and
then-
AI is the artist.
Does AI have rights to it? Is AI able to?
That's a difficult question. That's the what is AI? Can we?
And then, so if you're a person that inputs the information, like,
Mm.
make an image that looks like this, does he have the rights, or she, or does
AI have it?
AI have it?
That's a great question. That's a very debate worthy.
It's a really vague topic.
It is.
And I don't think there's any concrete.
There's no easy answer for that.
Yeah.
100%. And I think, just to finish it off, really, I guess the reason why I thought this would be of interest to you is actually you told me a short film idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember. You told me a short film idea about something like this, and I thought, well, it's not exactly like this, but it's very similar to it. And I like the fact that I'm making your brain think about what you said. You told me once that you had an idea of a chef.
Oh, right. We're gonna bleep this out. It might come true one day.
Oh,
As
this
a-
might be a film
yeah,
idea.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're
fine,
gonna
fine,
definitely bleep that out.
fine. Okay, fine.
Because I think I still, it's a project that I wanted to do maybe like 5-6 years ago.
Oh, I
and
see.
we didn't get around to making it. but
Right.
I'd like to make it at some point. I think it's a fun little thing.
Okay.
But you like that?
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea, and it kind of reminds me of this, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
it's very similar. But obviously, we're being very cryptic here, so my sincere apologies. But
Mhm.
that was the glass truth.
That was the glass truth for this week. I hope you've learned something here.
Art, smart,
Fart? Question mark?
cart.
Okay, no.
Sorry. That was the glass truth. So I had a bit of a, I mean, not to make it very kind of not negative,
Dramatic,
but
oh.
dramatic, yeah. But I had a bit of a downer moment this week.
What happened, buddy?
Right.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. Before I begin, if someone asked you to describe my toes, so if someone came up to you and said, "Can you just describe Yonny's toes to me?" What would your answer be? Why you?
I don't know if I've seen your toes, man.
You've never seen my toes,
I don't think so.
but from the urban legends and what people have.
legend.
and what people have told you
I see.
about my toes, right? You now know where I'm
I've
going.
heard
Yes.
your toes are quite immaculate.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Just
yeah.
like, the pinnacle of toe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's what a toe should look like. I think if
I've heard.
this is what when God created toes.
Through the grapevine.
Exactly.
Yeah. When God created when God created toes.
God created toes, when he created mine,
Uh-huh.
he went, "This is actually
This is the
pinnacle.
masterpiece.
This is the masterpiece. Yeah, this is my symphony in E minor.
Ooh,
This is my final piece."
Uh-huh. What happened, man?
Yeah, I had a look at it the other day actually when I was in bed, and I had a downer moment because it's just not what it used to be.
Right.
My
toe
toes.
maintenance has not been.
Yeah,
up to par.
exactly. I kind of start to question where it went wrong because they're not as pristine
Okay.
as they used to be.
Yeah.
I can't really describe what's wrong with them. Like, it's just, I think maybe the toenails are a bit wonky. It just felt like there was a lot of wear and tear because obviously I play a lot of sport. I play football, so I think that had a thing
Impact
to
on
it.
it.
But I just got really depressed, man. Like, you know how, I mean, recently I found out there's hand models.
Right. Yeah.
People who model using their hands, and footballers have their legs insured
Yeah.
just in case anything goes wrong. Like, my toes were at that level.
Yeah.
And obviously you heard it through the grapevine, but a lot of our close friends have seen my toes in real life, and they were pretty flabbergasted at how beautiful they were. But it's just not the same anymore. I just really had I think a bit of a moment where I'm like, whether it's due to age or whatever it is, it's just good things don't last. So yeah, I had a bit of a downer moment. I just really wish you can give me some words of encouragement if you can.
We're all gonna die,
Wow.
and your toes are the first.
Wow.
At the top. No, I'm joking.
Wow.
Listen, man.
You're such a great friend.
Like pedicures, Go for a pedicure.
Yeah, I might have to go to pedicure.
Like, I'm sure it was fine. Don't worry about it.
Hopefully it's something that I can resurrect. It's I actually did a bit of research. There's you go to like toes, like feet spas, where they put like your feet in like a tank with fish.
Yeah.
And like the fish start nibbling at your
away,
at your toes and stuff. I think that could be an
Tasty
option for
little
me to do. But yeah, listen, I just wanted to tell you that it's
I do think like this happens. I think over time we're just gonna get used to the fact that we're not the people. We're not the sprightly young gents that we used to be.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Yeah.
Don't let it get you down, man.
Thank you, man. This is what I needed.
There's so much more to you than your toes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Because I know, like, once you get this aspect, you make it your whole life, right? You're like, oh, this is me.
Yeah, my
I'm
toes.
Yonny.
Yeah.
I'm the toe guy.
Exactly.
But you're not the toe guy.
Yeah.
There's so much more to you.
I thought that's the thing. Maybe it's because my toes were the aspect of my body that I was the most happy about. And I felt really disappointed about the fact that I didn't look after them. But it's given me a bit of a wake up call. I'm gonna start looking after them, and I'm just gonna be like, you know what? It is what it is.
Are you gonna not play sports as much? Is that how far you're gonna go?
I'm thinking of buying toe guards. Just put them in my shoes.
What do toe guards look like?
Just like it's basically like a glove for your toes.
Nice.
And I'm gonna use them to protect my toes. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I think that's a good course of action.
Thank you very much. This is what I needed, man. This is why we started the GrassTooth podcast.
To encourage each other to live our best lives.
Exactly. That's why we're here, man.
I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you. Anyway, what's been on your mind?
I always think about this question.
Yep.
Can I go back to being this guy from last week?
Of course you can, yeah.
So
what's his name, by the way? Have we named him?
This is Bloomington.
Bloomington
Rumble Snacks.
Rumble Snacks. If you're listening on audio only platforms, then please have a look at our YouTube channel and have a look at this fella over here.
Absolute specimen.
Bloomington Rumble Snacks. Did you
Rumble
say?
Snacks.
Rumble Snacks.
So Bloomington Rumble Snacks has discovered that you have committed treason. For some reason, capital punishment's back.
Okay.
And you've been sentenced to the electric chair.
Oh.
And the prison guards ask you, they say, you're given one last meal before you expire.
Okay.
What would you want?
What's my last meal?
A 3-course final meal.
3 course? Does it have to be 3 course? Because mine would be a 5 course.
Yeah,
feast.
You know what?
It'll be a feast.
Go for it.
I want to eat good food before I die.
Yeah, just
go for it.
Throw in as much as you want.
For me, I think in terms of a last meal, right? The way I've grown up eating food, it's the diversity on the table, which is what I like. So, in terms of, just to give you a bit of an insight into Korean food, right? Obviously, you've got your rice, but then you've got about 15. Okay, that's too much, but like you've got a lot of side dishes around it. Bit of kimchi, bit of something else. There's always something different, and on one spoonful, you have a bit of rice, but you have it with different stuff as well. And it's that the combination of flavors.
1 second.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention.
Okay.
They've also told you that they tried contacting your parents.
Okay.
To be like, oh, you want to cook Yonny's last meal for him.
Right.
And they've both said they're busy.
They're too busy to cook for me.
They're too busy to do it.
Okay. Right.
So that's ruled out.
Okay, so I can't have home cooked food.
You can't have home cooked food. But
Fine.
Continue, please.
Okay, I would, yeah. I mean, I want the diversity in my meal, right? So what I would like, I think, in terms of as a final answer, is a bit of different stuff from different cuisines I like. Okay, so I'd have 2 mutton rolls. Okay, with chili sauce.
Are you saying that just because I'm here?
No, I genuinely love mutton rolls. So I have 2 mutton rolls, right? And it does kind of rep your hometown, your country.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd have some kimchi fried rice with an egg, a fried egg on top. Okay. I'd have a Filipino dish, which I've really come to love through my missus. It's called adobo. And normally you can use whatever meat, but I'll stick with pork adobo, right? And I think that would be my meal, in terms of as a, I guess that in terms of the main food, right? I'll have a banoffee pie for dessert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as a drink, I'd have a watermelon smoothie.
Is that actually what you want?
I'd love a watermelon smoothie.
And no starters?
I guess the mutton rolls would be my starter. I'd consider
True.
that as my starter.
True,
So
true,
technically it's a 4-course meal,
Mm.
right? But I think that's what I want. I want that diversity. I want every bite to just be a combination of different flavors from different places.
Run me through that again. So the kimchi fried rice.
2
with
mutton
an egg.
rolls, kimchi fried rice, pork adobo, banoffee pie,
Mm.
and a watermelon smoothie.
I don't think that's 4 courses. That's 3.
In what way?
Because the adobo that's paired with the rice
Mm.
and the mutton rolls for starter, and then a dessert, and then you got a drink. Drink doesn't count as a course.
Ooh. Okay, that's different because obviously, okay, I get what you mean, right? But the pork adobo, normally I have it as it by itself. Because what I don't have it with rice normally. I have it with potatoes.
Okay, fine.
So we put a lot of potatoes in there, boiled potatoes, and that kind of acts as a carb. So,
Right.
but I get your point. I get your point. I just think it'll be too heavy for me
Yeah.
if I had it together. But yeah, that's my final choice. My final
Okay.
selections.
Shall I tell you mine?
What's yours? Yeah.
Hoisin duck wrap as a starter. Why are you
Okay.
laughing? Why's that fun? Oh, does it give you bad memories?
Bad memories.
Bad
Yeah.
memories, I understand. I completely understand. Same here.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go.
Hoisin
into that.
duck wrap as a starter.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like a quarter, or I think quarter's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Roast duck with the pancakes and spring onions and cucumbers with that nice sauce.
Very jazzy.
I'll go for a mutton biryani
Oh.
with like this date pickle thing that they do sometimes, and raita, which is like a yogurty thing
Oh, okay.
for a main. For a dessert, I'm torn. As in, I'll probably just go for both. But you know those like fruit tarts where it's like there's the pastry, the
a
custard,
bit of custard, yeah,
and then the
yeah,
fruits
yeah.
on
Like
top.
strawberries.
That's
and
top tier
that,
dessert. For
okay,
me.
that
I
is top
I
tier.
love
That is top tier. Yeah, yeah.
And I go with a pint of like Ben and Jerry's ice cream as well. The
Ooh.
do you know the Netflix and chilled one?
No, is that a new flavor?
It was like 3 years ago.
Oh,
but
okay.
that's top tier. Now, basically, we've both been done for the same crime,
Okay.
and they've told us we can both have a last meal, but it has to be the same last meal.
Oh, wow.
Which one? What would you be willing to adjust?
Do you mean I have to select either mine or yours?
No. We both have to submit the same last meal. Do you
Or we don't
understand?
eat?
Or we don't eat. Yeah, that's going to send us straight to the chair.
Right, okay.
What are you getting rid of? I'm getting rid of the mutton rolls.
The mutton rolls.
Are you okay with that?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Why?
But should I tell you? Actually, no. Okay, the mutton roll's fine,
Okay.
but the mutton biryani, I'd happily have the mutton biryani.
Right. Over your adobo and
For
kimchi
my-
fried
yeah.
rice. So wait, you're telling me to keep the mutton rolls?
I didn't get your question. Are you saying I have to get rid of my stuff?
So no, it's either we compromise
Right, okay.
or we don't eat.
I wouldn't so I'm happy to compromise on the mutton rolls.
So you're getting rid of the mutton rolls.
I'd be happy to compromise on the mutton rolls.
What are you saying, that we keep the mutton rolls?
No. We can not have mutton rolls.
Okay.
I don't
You're
mind
okay
not
with
having
the
mutton rolls.
hoisin
Right.
duck pancakes?
I don't want the hoisin duck wrap.
As in that we've submitted it, and
Right.
they're like, this is too much.
Yeah.
You can have one out of the two things.
One out of these two.
What would your alternative be, just out of curiosity?
So okay, so we're comparing different starters then. So the starters is yours is a hoisin duck wrap.
Yeah.
Mine's a mutton roll.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have the hoisin duck wrap.
So why were you against it before?
I don't know.
You're just being difficult for no
yeah,
reason.
I'm just being difficult for no reason.
Okay, great.
But I've just thought about it, and the hoisin duck wrap is quite nice.
I think it's top. I think it's like
It's quite nice.
one of
It
the
is
best-
quite nice. Yeah. So I'm willing to sacrifice
Okay.
on that, right? In terms of our main meals, what was yours again? It was the mutton biryani. Compared to the kimchi fried rice and adobo.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What do you mean? Come on,
Come
man?
on, bro.
What do you mean? Come on, man?
Pork adobo and kimchi fried rice.
Mutton biryani.
That's two Asian cultures fusioned together.
Mutton biryani is a whole range of Asian cultures fused together. It's just a different part of Asia to you.
But pork adobo, man.
But biryani, man.
Kimchi fried rice, man.
Biryani, man.
Listen, I love biryani. I respect
Do you
it.
though?
I do love biryani, right? But it's just meat.
How many biryanis have you had in
It's
your
meat,
life?
probably like about 10 times. But it's meat and some rice
What is?
and a bit of curry. Like,
That's what biryani is.
yeah, but that's what I know what it is. But I'm just saying that's it, right? Whereas
Oh.
kimchi fried rice
Right.
is rice
Yeah.
with kimchi
Okay.
and an egg,
Biryanis have eggs in them.
and then pork adobo, bro. Imagine the mixture of flavor. Listen, okay, I'm saying this. I love mutton biryani, bro. Like
Yeah.
I can't not have it, right? It's great, but kimchi fried rice and adobo, bro.
Okay, let's get back to this.
Okay,
I just want to see how you do with the dessert.
dessert. I'll happily take the fruit tart.
You see, because you're being so nice with the starter and the
Mm.
dessert,
I'm being
feel
accommodating.
like I should.
I'm pressuring you, right?
It's not pressure. It's like you're being reasonable.
My kindness is overbearing, and you're being like, maybe
I'm
I
slap you in
shouldn't
the
have the mutton biryani.
I can't imagine. I wouldn't want, because I think there's such a connect with me and the biryani.
Mm.
We go way back.
I get that, but it's the same with me and kimchi fried rice. You know
I
what I mean?
get that
It's
as well.
something, and it's not just the kimchi fried rice. It's then the pork adobo.
Yeah.
The pork adobo is like my new love.
Mm.
The kimchi fried rice, again, it's just always, it's
Goes
your
way
banana.
back.
It's your banana. It just goes way back, and I
Don't
can always
bring up
have it.
bananas.
Right?
All right, no more banana talk. Okay.
Kimchi fried rice is banging with the pork adobo, bro. I'm happy to, bro. The fruit. I had a fruit tart the other day. I think over the
Mm.
weekend. There's a new cake shop around my house.
Nice.
Had a fruit tart. It's beautiful,
Slapped.
man. It just slaps, man. It's just
Yeah.
so good.
I think it's because there's the pastry part of it is there for you.
Exactly.
The custard, you want a bit of custard. You always
Yeah.
want a bit of custard, and then the fruits as well.
The fruits. I mean, the ones I have normally is like it's got strawberries on
Grapes, blueberries,
it, grapes, blueberries,
maybe some kiwi sometimes.
kiwi, and it just has a bit of a sour thing
Yeah,
to it, like the
yeah,
fruit.
yeah,
But then you've got
yeah.
the custard, which is just so sweet and just beautiful. It just
slaps.
melts in your mouth, and then the
Mm.
pastry underneath. Fruit tart is a world class dessert. So yeah, happy to take that.
I think we'd have to go hungry, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
You'd rather not eat. You'd rather not eat because you want the mutton roll, which
I'd be
you want the
so-
mutton biryani.
I'd be so salty
Wow.
about like eating something that I didn't have like that personal connect with.
I would kill you before the electric chair does. I'll be like, is this what Gopi did? And the police will be like, yeah, sorry, this is what he chose. I will literally find my way into your room and I'll kill you myself. Right? I'll shove 2 mutton rolls down your mouth and choke you to death. That's what I do personally. Wow. That shows your character, man. All right, okay, watermelon smoothie or Ben & Jerry's? What would you choose out of those two? Yeah, the Ben & Jerry's, obviously.
100%.
the Ben & Jerry's.
I don't even talk about a drink. What would I want to drink? I don't
Yeah,
even
what's your
know.
drink? What's your choice of drink?
Probably water.
Water. You boring bitch.
Why?
It's your last meal, man. Go out with a bang. Actually, no, I'd change. I don't want a watermelon smoothie.
What do you want?
I'd want a glass of sex on the beach. I'd want a cocktail.
You'd want alcohol.
I'd want alcohol, actually, thinking about it. I think I'll make my experience of death a bit more tolerable. What's your drink?
I don't know. I like a good Oasis or a Lilt.
Oh, a lilt. Okay, a lilt.
Lilt
Yeah,
slaps. Also thinking about like a soda float. That would be nice. Maybe put the Ben & Jerry's,
Ben & Jerry's on
Coke.
top. If it's a lilt, I'll back it.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had to do the
Yeah. So if it's a lilt, I'll
okay,
back it.
fine.
Right. So I'll back you on the lilt.
Yeah.
I'll back you on the fruit tart.
Yeah.
I'll back you on the hoisin duck wrap.
All right. Do you want a good compromise?
Yeah.
I'll take the mutton rolls, and then we can have the
I'm not having mutton rolls and mutton biryani.
no
That's too
pork
much mutton.
adobo and kimchi fried rice.
Okay.
Because I think the mutton rolls is enough of a connect
Fine.
that I'd be like, you know what?
Mhm.
There's a bit of that.
Fine. I'm glad we've come to a.
What if I said a
Decision.
bibimbap instead?
Instead of the kimchi fried rice.
No, instead of the biryani.
Instead of biryani.
Would you have compromised then?
I probably would have, yeah. So yeah. We're dying with a full stomach then.
Yeah, no. We were in agreement. I'm glad to hear that.
Fantastic. I mean, talking about last meals, I actually, so this came up in my research for the GrassTooth before, right? It didn't make the cut, but I think it kind of ties in very closely to this topic, and it's literally the definition of last meal. Because there's this dish apparently in Thailand called the koi pla. Have you heard of it before?
No.
It's killed 20,000 people every year in Thailand, and it's literally people's last meal.
Wait, 20,000 people a year die
in Thailand from this meal. It's called a koi pla. It's basically minced raw fish with like herbs, seasoning, and a bit of lemon juice. Okay, yeah, and I think because it's so parasitic, like if you have it, you can apparently you get liver cancer straight away. A lot of the times, right? So obviously, like there's lots of movement to try and ban it because it's literally killing people. But it tastes so good that people are going, nah, you can't ban this. Like we're still having this.
Okay. Do you know how many people are eating it? And so let's say there's like 200,000 people eating it and 20,000 people die.
That's still quite a lot though, no?
It is quite a lot.
It's still quite a lot. Apparently it's quite famous, but it's very popular in a few certain islands in Thailand, right? So it's not like their version of a fish and chips, but it's still fairly popular, but it's killing all of these people, man. Well, mutton biryani. Say we've just recently found out that it's killed 50,000 people in Sri Lanka.
Right.
And they're looking to ban it.
Okay.
What would you do? How would you feel?
What part of it has killed 50,000 people?
I don't know, but just say it does. Maybe it's the seasoning.
Seasoning?
Maybe it's the chili. Oh, wait, it's not that spicy, is it?
Oh, there's probably some chili in there. Chili powder.
MSG? Maybe it's a potent MSG.
It's just the combination, everything coming together.
And it's just exploding in people's stomachs.
Oh, damn.
Like a bomb. How would you react? And they're going to try and ban it because it's apparently too deadly.
Like incurable. They can't.
It's incurable. It gives you cancer straight away.
I think I'd probably find a substitute.
Really?
Yeah. If it's that, like, if there's a chance I'm going to die from eating it, I'm not going to eat it.
Fair enough.
No?
Yeah, I agree. That's interesting. Interesting take on it.
Is it that interesting?
It is quite interesting, yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like you love mutton biryani a lot.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
So why did you suggest it as a last meal?
I think if I had to eat like a last meal, this is the last thing I'm going to eat, it'd probably be that. I think
it's not the dish you like the most.
With food, I'm like I've got a wide range of food that I like. And like it's split up. My love for that food has split up over a wide selection of things.
Right, okay.
It's not like
you're a bit of a player. You're a bit of a player with food, right?
Yeah, I play with
You like that variety. So last week you gave me shit about the banana, saying, "Oh, the banana is always there for me." All right, you with your little fling with the watermelon.
Watermelons are overrated.
But now you're saying, now you're coming here going,
overrated.
Huh?
Watermelons are overrated.
You're overrated.
I agree. I probably agree. Yeah.
You're overrated as fuck. But yeah, I just feel like we're always arguing towards the end of the podcast. It's
I think we're just so sick of just staring at each other in the face for so long. Good Lord.
So yeah, that's the koi pla. A last meal for many, which is a very sad note to end it on. But and on that really cheerful note, guys, this is the end of the episode. The GrassTooth podcast.
Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, consider subscribing. Consider doing all the things that you need to do to hear more.
Yes.
And I think that's a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.